Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Rslash Tales from Your Server. In today's episode, I got yelled at over asking if they wanted fries and a drink. I got tipped 1000%. How I think restaurants should work. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. I got yelled at over asking if they wanted fries and a drink. When I got my first job, I worked at a wildly popular tourist location in their cafe. Now, being a young 18-year-old at their first job, I did everything to a T. Working food service isn't hard, but the customers never make it easy for you. On this particular day, it was quite busy and you couldn't see the end of the line. Kitchen was throwing orders up to the pass and each cashier's transaction was probably no more than 2 minutes, so we were constantly moving. It was required of us to also upsell as much as possible, not that we were rewarded for it or anything, but if the manager didn't hear us try we would get talked to, yay micromanaging. I had done a bunch of fairly easy orders and customers could see how busy we were, so they were generally quite nice to us except for this one lady, her husband, and their child that was definitely way too old for a stroller. This lady comes up, ready to order, but she has a question. I just wanted to know what the grilled cheese is? Like, what is that? In all honesty, I was a little shocked because it's not like a grilled cheese was like a food from a different culture. I could understand if it was literally any other food, but a grilled cheese is quite common in North America. Anyways, I explained to her that it was 2 pieces of bread with a few slices of cheese in between that they grill on a panini press. She didn't really seem to understand the concept, but the rest of the conversation basically went like this. Lady, so it's like sandwich? Me, yeah, they just grill it so that the cheese melts and it's crispy. Lady, okay, I'll get one of those then. Me, okay, cool. Would you like it with some fries and a drink? The lady instantly froze. I repeated the question, and she just blinked. Me, did you want fries and a drink or just did you want the grilled cheese by itself? Lady, I don't know what that means. Me, or did you want it as a combo? With fries? And a drink? At this point this lady was getting really annoyed, and I really probably should have ended the conversation here, but alas, she went on. Lady, I don't know what that means, I just want a grilled cheese. Me, I was just asking if you also wanted fries and a drink? And then she absolutely loses it. Lady, I don't know what that means, that's too many options, I just want the grilled cheese, why are you being so rude? Her husband also chimes in and started yelling at me saying that this was terrible customer service, and it was too complicated to understand, and I literally just stood there waiting for them to finish. The lady ended up screaming and demanded that someone else take their order because I was making it difficult for them. I pulled someone else to go help and walked into the kitchen and began crying instantly, mostly out of frustration because it was literally not that confusing. I watched through the kitchen doors as the guy helping this lady try to calm her down, but she was throwing hands like her life depended on it. Funny thing is, this lady spoke perfect English, so it's not like she couldn't understand. To this day, anytime I see a grilled cheese I just get flashbacks. Congratulations on having made first contact with a visiting alien race. Next time though, they really should read the handbook on humanity more thoroughly. It can be a bit of a sleeper in the beginning, but it really picks up when it gets to the part about tacos. All it says is mostly harmless. So you admit you're an alien? It sounds like your question was too complicated for her. After all, she couldn't comprehend a grilled cheese sandwich. Did she stop moving and breathing while she talked? She sounds like someone who would struggle to multitask to that level. I guess a grilled cheese is too big brain of a concept to handle, lol. Multitasking is too many options for body to complete. Confusion, difficulty to understand simple language and concepts, and out of proportion anger she can't manage. She may have some sort of medical condition, neurological. That was my first thought, but then the husband chimed in, so I'm gonna go with just two really stupid people. Ha ha ha, there's nothing difficult to understand. You can just say no if you don't want fries with the grilled cheese. I've ordered soft serve at a chain restaurant and been asked if I want fries and a drink with it. First off, her attitude was complete trash, and I'm sorry you had to deal with that kind of abuse over a pretty basic lunch. However, I have to ask if either of them had any hint of an accent? This interaction actually reminded me of a conversation I had with my husband when we first started dating. He asked me what I made for lunch and I told him grilled cheese and tomato soup, and he was a little bewildered and said he had never had that kind of soup before, and I asked if tomato soup didn't exist in his country, South Africa. He said they had it, but not with the cheese added in. Where he is from they called it a toasted cheese sandwich or a cheese toastie. Fries are also called chips, and often when you order a soda the person taking your order will ask if you want a cool drink. The first time I placed an order at a fast food place I had no idea about cool drink, because it was kind of combined into one word and said with an accent. Again, none of that excuses the way they treated you at all, but I feel like they can't have been local. My guess is that this lady had some kind of health issues going on, like a brain injury or mental health. Doesn't excuse the husband's behavior. Yet it definitely reminded me of a customer from when I worked retail that had brain damage. Not saying that it is acceptable for them to act like that, but that's what it sounds like. We're usually not equipped to deal with people like this, so it's unfortunate all the way around. That customer *CKs. Asterisk. On a side note, I'm from the UK, and I assumed a grilled cheese was some kind of cheese grilled and served like halloumi. We call grilled cheese a cheese toastie here. Learned something new today. I call a toastie a grilled cheese. Halloumi to me is fried cheese, breaded mozzarella, I call cheese sticks, and cold, naked cheese sticks, I call string cheese. It's all cheese and it's all good to me. Directions in food ordering: you want food. I have food. You tell me how much you want and what type. We exchange money for said food. You eat food. If I ever get the soup restaurant idea past the drawing board, I'll want that displayed prominently by the point of sale. She may not have known the English words. The other words in her vocabulary are not an indicator of whether or not she knows what fries are. She had no noticeable accent. Unless she was raised in a cult until last week and had no contact with other humans outside of it, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I would go with really stupid. My sister is so dumb she's borderline mentally challenged. This sounds like something that would happen to her. She really only experiences two emotions, either glad or mad. She was trying to order a burrito one day, in the middle of the waiter saying something she cuts him off and says, "I'll have a burrito with sour cream." He paused for a second and said, "Okay, would you like that in the burrito or on the side?" All she replied was, "I don't know," and continued staring blankly ahead. If my mom hadn't been there to continue ordering for her, I can totally see that turning into a similar situation. I got tipped 1000%. Someone left me $20 on a $2 beer. I wasn't even his server, he tipped his server well, so I tipped out the bartender so well he cried, $10, but it was 40% of my booze sales. Tip out is 5% of them, and gave me a hug. This shift was awful. 10 hours. 6 tables, $76 before tip out. I felt cheery. I was serving and cooking, just apps as my dear husband was sick, so I was taking tables and just slamming out their food quickly to stay in my side work range. If I didn't, I'd have lost the shift completely. I needed the cash. And it was overall a dreary, slow night. But someone chose to tip me $20 just because I ran them a beer. This is what keeps me in the industry. That and money. Now that is cool. My poor bartender. He let me keep taking tables. I'm like, "I'll split tips," he ran for me too, and he says absolutely not, so I just tipped him out super well. Half of his work. It was a long shift. Oh, Han. You did good. My daughter worked 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. Christmas Eve as a front-of-house person. She, the other FOH, and chefs brought home less than $200 in tips. You're all warriors. That makes me so sad. Even Santa goes out to the bar sometimes. Wait, $2 beer. Was this from 1990? Happy hour is half off. Exactly. As someone who couldn't be at home Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I am very grateful to all the service workers for busting tail this weekend. I tipped the Starbucks crew $10 for my latte, because I know how tough it is to work on Christmas. $2 beer? I missed those days, haven't seen them since around 2002. That aside, there are some good people out there. Well hidden at times, but they're there. Happy hour is half off. Your bartender cried over $10? He'd only made like 50 some himself? Plus I didn't owe him a tip out at all, and most of the girls short him. So it meant a lot that I gave him much what I made off of tables that he would have gotten if the kitchen closed and I went home. When I was doing a load of work tonight. Was more so the thought than it being $10. How I think restaurants should work. I recently found a new job that seems too good to be true. I have to start as a back waiter for a few weeks, but will eventually work as a server. And while I don't enjoy being a back waiter, it's definitely worth it. At my workplace there is an automatic 20% gratuity on every table. Those tips are spread out among the restaurant. My starting pay as a back waiter is $15 per hour plus tip share, so I'm making $17 to $20 per hour. When I move up to a server position, I'll be making $20 to $30 per hour. Every single person that works in this restaurant earns a living wage. I also have access to a tele-doctor for free, subsidized mental health counseling at $10 per session, and paid time off. And for the first time I really respect the owners of my restaurant. They come in almost every day, bus tables, jump into the dish pit and on the line to help cook. The owners even started a charitable foundation in my city, and during the early parts of the pandemic, they fundraised so that local restaurants could make meals for our school district, students, teachers and parents. In fact, my brother-in-law, who's a chef, had a job during the pandemic because of their organization. I feel really blessed to have this job. I'm happy to work for people that are actually ethical owners. Can you tell us the name of the restaurant so we can eat there? Businesses like this should have our support. Well, I don't really want to say where I work publicly on Reddit, cause I don't want weirdos to come by, but I'll send you a message. I'm from the UK where we don't have the US's server wage, so tipping isn't as common here and more of a thing reserved for good service. Why do you guys think it's better to add a mandatory 20% tip, rather than raising prices 20% and just increasing everyone's pay? Because psychologically guests are more okay with an automatic gratuity than raising the cost of the dish. I don't know why, but it is the case. Sounds like a good gig overall. I'd be hard-pressed to work somewhere that tip pools myself. There's just not much incentive to, and my tip percentage is generally really high. Sharing that with people who might not do the same would be irritating. And I would have totally agreed with you before this job. But every person I work with works super hard. We all support each other and do our best. Where is this Shangri-La? No, don't tell us. We'd all just swarm the place. Congratulations, it sounds wonderful. Where is this? Are they still hiring? Tele meaning a screen or a phone? Yep. This is something I've considered approaching the owners about at the restaurant I manage. I've always thought it would cause most of the servers to quit though, since they would generally be taking a pay cut while everyone else got a raise. We already pool tips among FOH, and tip out 3% of food sales to kitchen, and it has worked out great for us, but servers are averaging $30 to $40 per hour on good nights, more than I make with salary. That would decrease significantly if we switch to auto-grading and implementing more equitable pay with BOH. Personally, it's a change I would love to see, but there's a lot of factors to consider when changing pay structure that drastically. To everyone, if they did this at the restaurant you work at, would you quit and go somewhere where you got to keep your tips? Not a fan of complete autocrat. Have definitely worked with people and have been served by people who take it for granted. Oh no, did you die? Good luck on your new job. I hope you're treated well by your employers. Tip pooling is not for me, as I expect to earn in proportion to what I produce. I would resent paying taxes on dollar that didn't go into my pocket. I already do that with bar, etc. Man, if a tip pool is taxing money from you that doesn't go into your pocket, then they are running the restaurant wrong. A properly pooled restaurant taxes what you make, not what is on the tip line of your tables. $20 to $30 per hour would be a pretty significant wage loss for most servers who have back waiters IMO. Especially in states with no or little tipped wage credits. Do you live on the West Coast? Because if so, your restaurant is just following its legal obligations regarding wages. If not, dope. I'm in Texas, where the minimum wage for tipped employees is $2.13 per hour. And honestly, even if I make a little bit less than if it wasn't tip pooled, I'm okay with that. It means that all of my fellow coworkers have a living wage as well. The guys in the dish pit and kitchen don't have to worry about making ends meet. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.